Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
He has time. He's got the left side. Dobbs is there. Leaping grab. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Perfection. Expect nothing else. Do you like to make yourself a hot cup of coffee to start your day? We have both whole bean and grounded. Also great for all you iced coffee if not a hot kind of person. Even make yourself a frappe to quench your thirst. The best tasting coffee with espresso. It's only $18.99 plus taxes for a 12-ounce bag. Buy 1 to 5 bags and shipping is only $7. If you spend over $100, shipping is absolutely free.
Good morning. Welcome to Ken and Rob this morning. And of course, we had to take that non-coffee drinker and say, hey, drink coffee and be gone. No, he's just out. Got some appointments today.
Ken's having a down day.
Yeah. Hope you all got a cup of coffee. Hope those of you watching from Florida are in a good, safe location. If you're in the Tampa area, I hope you're not in the Tampa area anymore.
Yeah. It's like it's going to be slammed.
It is going to be. Yeah. I mean, because Tampa doesn't take direct hits, man. I mean, the last direct hit Tampa took was 1972. I just want to, the Bucks are on the road. Jacksonville obviously in London, and I don't think the Dolphins would have the bye, right? Yeah,
the Dolphins have the bye. Yeah. So nobody affected.
No one. Good morning, Matt. Won't affect any football per se. Not that that's the most important thing. Good morning, Jay.
Morning, Jay.
Well, that's another thing because it's less people in those areas. Like at least the Bucks are probably out of town already with all their staff and their family and everything. So that's probably a good thing. It's going to get nasty down here. So I got more than a few people down in the Tampa area. They don't take direct hits, man. They're like I said, their last direct hit was 1972. They usually if they get anything, they get like Outer Bands. Or
is it a Cat 5?
Yeah, it is right now, but they think it'll be a 4 or a 3 when it makes landfall. I think about 8 p.m. tonight. So we really won't know the extent of anything like last time till the morning. I don't know what it is with these nighttime landfalls.
That's what I heard. It's going to hurt tonight. I saw that.
Yeah, the rain started coming in about 2 o'clock in the morning already. That's how big this storm is.
I saw the pictures from Florida. It looked terrible. The calm before the storm looked terrible.
Yeah, a lot of people got out. A lot of people have gotten out, and thankfully they've taken their pets with them. That's one thing. You'd be surprised, man, how many people they evacuate and leave their cats and their dogs. I mean, obviously you can't really take your fish with you. Well, I suppose you can. You might be able to, but like dogs and cats and birds, they leave them in the house. And it's a sad thing that happens almost every time there's a hurricane and people evacuate. So, but a lot of people got out. I know a couple people that I know got to Atlanta. Some other people came up here to the Panhandle. No, Matt, there is not. But
unfortunately, he caught something when he put on that purple, and it's taking him out. He's done for the day. Yeah,
But here
there
you
he is.
go.
Look how sickly he looks right there. Look, see? It's took him out.
Took him out. But
What's up, Joe? Good morning.
good morning, Joe. Yeah, there actually I just saw before we got on, I was looking at some stuff. South Florida, like the Miami area, off I-75, there was a couple of tornado touchdowns already. People don't think, that's the other thing. People don't. Interesting thing about the Tampa area. So when you think of tornadoes, you think Tornado Alley, right, in the Midwest. Tampa to like Lakeland is like the Tornado Alley of Florida. Sarasota is the lightning strike capital of the world, and Tampa to Sarasota is like Tornado Alley. They get tornadoes a lot. They have a big air show down there every year. People bring all these like vintage airplanes, stuff like that. A tornado came through last year during that air show and just wrecked everything in the field. It sure does, it's like, yeah. Yeah, he does look extra frail with that Viking stuff on, right? People are going, Matt, to, I know some people I know, military people that you serve with, that live down there that just went to Atlanta. Others are coming up to the Emerald Coast. Basically, if you go north of the armpit, which just got hit, you're okay. So, like, Panhandle has been a big destination. Some people have gone south, even though there is the spaghetti model where they'll divert and go to Miami instead. And then a lot of people just went north, Atlanta, Jacksonville, even.
Just get out of the way.
Yeah, I'll even go to Daytona because at least there it's only a Cat 1, and we can just have a hurricane party because that's how we roll in Florida.
Yeah, they're saying some people. They're saying some people always stay. There's never nobody who doesn't. Never.
Oh, dude,
everybody doesn't always leave. Some people believe they can ride
the mayor of Tampa said, "If you stay, you will die."
Yeah, no,
made a public statement.
New. That's nothing new. So I mean, dude, God, I love when I lived in Orlando, West 3. I love those guys. They would find these knuckleheads. And there was a guy, it was a Cat 2 or 3 coming through, and he was in Daytona, and he was going to ride it out in his boat in the marina, right? His name was Bob, ironically. So Bob was going to ride it out in his boat in the marina. And Bob tied his boat off to the dock, to some trees, to some signs. He had straps and ropes going everywhere. Kid you not, the marina was basically destroyed around him, and Bob's boat was just fine at the end of the storm, and Bob made it. Like, you've got to be kidding me. There's always the knuckleheads. Oh, I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to, every hurricane when they're told to leave, there's always, I've been here for 30 years and I can ride it out. I mean, it's just nuts. What can you do to assist Florida people in the next 24 hours? Really, the next 24 hours, not much. It's post-storm, when you can make donations to like the Red Cross and other organizations that will come in and help post-storm. If you go to florida.gov, I know they've got a bunch of links there where you can go to help. Basically, post-storm, it's not a question of people coming to help because they've got, if you've never seen how we do things in Florida, they've got like a small city of people staged outside, right? You got, all those work trucks, for the electrical lines and guys to remove debris and construction folks to get bridges fixed and open because there are just quite a few bridges in the path of this one, especially going, from Tampa proper to St. Pete area. It's usually more about getting money down here and supplies. And Publix, I guarantee you, will have a crap load of semis coming down with food. The governor, no matter who the governor's been in this state, actually, has always been really good about having with the fuel companies, having trucks of fuel being brought in. The emergency response in Florida for these hurricanes is they've got it down. I think Rick Scott was the guy who perfected it. DeSantis has continued it. They just got it down. The blueprint's done. They know how to do this. It's just usually a matter of getting money, and sometimes it's getting some people to certain areas. Yeah, we all ride sailboats. Listen to Jimmy Buffett.
Hey, Ken, I thought when you said Rick Scott, I thought you were gonna say Rick Mott. I was like, what's he gonna do? Scream at the fucking hurricane? Like,
Yeah, probably. Good morning, Eric.
hey, so explain something to me real quick. Like, so this hurricane is a Category 5 off the coast, right? Why does it automatically go to a Category 3 when it touches land?
Well, no. Well, right where they think it's going to be a 4,
from the ocean.
It loses strength because when it's over water, it's picking up. Fuel.
Yeah, the water strengthens it. So when it hits land,
once it hits land, it loses its fuel. Now it'll pick some up from, believe it or not, weird places like your pool. Like you would think when a hurricane comes through, you come outside and your pool would be full of water. Nope, I usually have to fill my pool after the hurricane passes because it sucks the water out of it. So it'll draw some. It will draw some power from lakes, streams, pools, other standing bodies of water. But once it hits land, it loses fuel. It's like taking oxygen away from a fire.
If it touches down as a Category 3, is that like really, really bad?
And a Starbucks, don't forget
if
that.
it hits as
I don't know anything about hurricane.
If it makes landfall as a Cat 3, is it bad? Yeah, it's still bad. It's not as bad as a Cat 4. I mean, I had a cat. The last one I had here was a Cat 2 that directly hit my house, and I lost some fence. Now the rest of my area didn't do so well because I was more on the wind side, not the surge side. That's everything too, because what does the most damage in a lot of areas, especially coastal, is the surge. 3 foot of surge, if you think about it, will basically almost submerge your car, right? If you get 6 foot of surge, your car is now a floating boat. You know, if you get 9 foot of surge, that's where you're starting to see water lines on a second story window. And it's the surge and everything it carries with it, and it picks up degrees. So when it picks up that car, and it will pick up the car, that car is now a battering ram that's going to smash into a house or a pole or something and create even more debris. So sometimes it's not necessarily even the wind, it's the surge is what's really dangerous. But the wind, that creates projectiles, and a Cat 3 is nothing to,
Viking Rob said, if you want to stop a hurricane, put Rick in between it and the Starbucks.
Yeah, oh shit. Yeah, right?
Jay, I don't buy those reports. Crosby isn't going anywhere, dude.
Yeah, no, he's not going.
I know that everybody is like hoping and praying for the demise of the Raiders, but Crosby's not going anywhere.
No, nowhere at all. But here
in other Raider news, Christian Wilkins is now out for the season. So he injured his foot on Sunday, and he got what's called a Jones fracture, and he had surgery, and so now he's going to IR. We just signed him in the offseason for $84 million guaranteed, and now he's going to the IR for the rest of the season. So,
wow.
At this point, I think the Raiders should do the hurricane thing. Like just pack up and call it good, dude. Like,
there's a lot of players have family in that area. Yeah, that's the thing too. This is affecting the NFL in ways that most fans maybe don't recognize. Is a lot of players have family in Florida. Because a lot of players come from Florida, or they just move their families here because it's a very tax-friendly state with nice weather. Don't be surprised if you're watching just a rando game like the Cincinnati game or an LA game, and they're talking about the hurricane and players because they have their family members down here. It's going to be an interesting week in the NFL post-hurricane. All the Florida teams are out of state or have the bye. So that's good.
Lucky.
Yeah, look, it would be fine for a Sunday game. Tampa would be fine to get the Raymond James. Here's the other thing that people don't understand about hurricanes. So the city of Tampa itself, even if it receives storm surge, the difference between when the hurricane hit Florida, let's say in North Carolina last time, is when we get storm surge and flooding, it comes off the Gulf, right? So the storm passes, the surge goes with it. right? The surge is temporary. It's here for a half hour, whatever. You know, the storm passes, the water recedes back into the Gulf, right? You go further inland, like North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and they get the surge and the flooding. That's coming off rivers and streams. That stuff stays for like a couple, can stay for a week because you got to let, right, the streams and rivers recede. It's not like storm surges down here in Florida. Surge here doesn't last long.
How high does a storm surge get? Like 20, 30 feet, right? It's fucking
No,
huge.
oh my God, that'd be 20, 30 feet, man. It would be like end of days. Dude, at 3 feet, it's coming up past you. At 3 feet, it's coming up to your car window, right?
Yeah, but
at
I watched
your car is submerged.
I watched Deadliest Catch, and there was a storm there, and the boat was like down at the bottom of the wall. Like,
well, that's in the open sea.
And when the storm came in, man, the fucking boat was at the top of the wall. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, so you get 30-foot waves in open sea, but you're not going to get, put it this way.
I'm just saying the water rised up, the surge from all the water coming inland.
That's different. That's different. Those are the sea state versus the surge state. Surge, dude, if you get it between 9 and 12 feet, you're talking about your whole houses are submerged.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Right?
That's
so,
why people are leaving.
I don't think we've ever seen 30-foot storm surge.
Yeah, you get a 12-foot surge, a whole city's underwater.
Well,
pretty much. Yeah,
no,
they're not going to get it.
What they say, they said, if you stay, we can't come save you. So you should
then we
leave.
say that every
That's
time.
What they're telling people, we can't come save you.
We say that every time, Rob. That's what we say that.
Well, I mean,
but I mean, I have buddies who are law enforcement down in the area, and dude, trust me, they're hunkering down in their homes because they have no choice but to, because they can't evacuate because obviously they're first responders, and we say it every time, even for cat, really bad cat 2s, or it's gonna be really bad cat 1. They're like, hey, get out, especially coastal. People always say, we always say it every time. Look, we're not going to come and get you. We're not going to come and get you, and they don't come and get them. Like they legit will not come and get you. And people say, oh, they'll come get me. No, they will not come get you. So if you're sitting in Tampa, Florida right now in an evacuation area, and you're sitting there, oh, well, I'll be okay. They'll just come get me. No, they won't come get you. They are going to wait till the storm is over, and they'll get to you when they get to you, because there's going to be other people that along the way. It's kind of first come, first serve. Whoever they come across first is who they're going to get. So get out. But you'd be surprised at how many people stay when they should stay. Oh, well, I get it. Well, I'm on the 15th floor of a high rise. I'm fine. You think, you would think. I mean, yeah, they're not going to get storm surged out, but other things can happen. And they're probably going to be without power for a good couple days. So yeah.
So what you're saying is you're going to be MIA for a couple days?
No, not me. I'm up in the Panhandle. Our weather forecast up here, believe it or not, sunshine and beautiful days. 78 degree days.
Yeah, the storm's going right over the middle of the state. It's like central Florida.
It's basically going to ride. It's basically going to ride the I-4 corridor. Is what it looks like. It looks like it's legit going to take the I-4 corridor. I'm up in the Panhandle. I'm well north of it. So the Panhandle. That's why people are coming up here, because we're going to be out of this storm. So, Florida's a pretty big state. People don't realize how big it is here. How big of a state it
I saw
really
something
is.
interesting. I saw something interesting yesterday. So, people are still dealing with the hurricane that hit North Carolina and Tennessee and all that, right? And they're having problems getting supplies in. And there's this group of people called the Cajun Navy, and they had this staging area where they had like all these supplies that they were going to deliver. And this military Black Hawk came in and just rotor washed it, dude, and like blew all their shit away.
And they found out who it was too. They figured out who it was too. They got the tail number, and they were able to track the bird down. And the Cajun Navy, I know about them all too well. Rob, you should know about them down in Texas, because they came to Texas when you guys get hit. Cajun Navy, man, these guys go out. They got boats, helicopters, and there's a group of people that kind of like do what the state of Florida does. They pre-po outside where they think the effective area is going to be. And as soon as the hurricane passes, people understand, like a hurricane, when it passes, it passes. So like coming into the storm, you get a lot of rain, the winds start picking up, then you get into the bands. And then the second that hurricane passes, It's the most weird thing you'll ever see, man. Like the hurricane passes, all of a sudden the sun is out. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. You know, beautiful 80, 90-degree weather, whatever. It's gorgeous. We're talking like within 20 minutes of the storm passing. Cat 3 hurricane comes through your house. 20 minutes later, it's gorgeous outside. It's the weirdest thing. So as soon as that cane hits and it passes, those guys move, and people are getting down there. It's crazy. Hey, Black Hawk.
Yeah, Philip. I don't know who it was. I know they got the tail number, but I saw the video. Like they definitely came in and rotor washed them, dude.
Oh yeah, they rotor washed the hell out of those guys.
And I'm like, why? Like they're trying to help, and the government isn't really helping, dude. Like, so what do you? I mean, these people are just supposed to die, like.
Was it Ronald Reagan said that the worst thing you could ever hear is, "Hi, I'm from the federal government. I'm here to help." The states look at the states know what they're doing. The states know what they're doing. A state like Florida, we probably have more experience with hurricanes than anyone. We know our government knows what it's doing down here. Texas has learned pretty well over the last couple of years how to handle hurricanes down the southern parts of Texas. The Carolinas pretty much know because they get them up the coast a lot because the hurricanes like to ride the coast. The governments know. Like the state of Florida does not need anyone from the federal government telling them how to do things. They know what needs to be done where, right? I mean, the companies that do business here, like Publix, that they know what they need to do to be prepped. It's just a matter of something like this one where it's like you got to get people out because it's Tampa, and I'll be honest, Tampa couldn't even take a Cat 2. Like I said, their last direct hit was 1972. They catch outer bands of a Cat 2 or 3, and they get wrecked for almost a week because the city is the least compared to the coastal city. Because they never,
now they're going to catch
a
Cat 3 head on.
No,
they're about to catch a Cat 3 head on.
No, a 4. It's going to be at least a 4 when it makes landfall. They're saying.
Oh, I was reading that it was going to be dropped to 3 by the time it makes landfall.
No, it'll make landfall probably as a 4, and then it'll drop to 3. Orlando might get a 2 or a 1, probably a 2 or a 1, which Orlando, believe it or not, being as inland as it is used to.
Yeah, the front edge is going to be wrecked. The front edge is going to be super hard.
That pirate ship at the what is it called? The not Raymond James, the Buck Stadium. That pirate ship's going to actually be floating, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Well, they've got some other boats. I mean, they've gotten all the boats out. The cruise ships are out. It's interesting come hurricane time, especially when it comes time to sports. The NHL just started, so the Tampa Bay Lightning are playing. You got the Bucks playing. They try to, the sports teams get out, they get their families out. But Tampa is going to be wrecked for probably a good week or 2 if it takes a direct hit. They're not prepared. The Coastals are a little bit better prepared, but surge, you can only do so much for surge. So I expect though it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be something. I mean, it's going right through the state of Florida. No, I may live in Florida. I'm not a Buccaneers fan. My wife is a Buccaneers fan, though. She moved to Orlando in 2000, so she's a Bucs fan. As most people in Orlando are Bucs. Well, in Orlando, they kind of split between the 3 teams, but I'd say most are Bucs fans in Orlando. That if they pick a Florida team at all.
Facts, Philip. Facts.
Nah, the Hurricane. I'm fine with it. But yeah, guys. So if you want to help out, probably you can go to Florida.gov. They've got links there where you can make donations. That's usually what it is that we need is money down here to pay for stuff. We don't need bodies coming down here. Please don't come down here to try to help. Don't do that. There's enough people down here. Local, if there's a call, there'll be a call for specific types of people. Sometimes you'll get that, but stay home. Don't come down here. They'll just get in the way. Trust me. But
I feel bad for the people who suffered through the other hurricane, lost everything, they're relocated to where they're at now, and now this hurricane's going to come through and wipe out everything that they just moved to.
Oh,
It's terrible,
Rob,
bro. There's a lot of people just they're getting double
you,
smacked.
you'd be surprised how often that happens, man.
Man,
Guys will
I
leave,
feel
like they
bad
leave
for 'em, bro.
Tampa, like they'll leave, or like we had, especially one of these dual hurricane years. Like, was it Maria? When Maria hit, a bunch of people left
No, we won't,
Miami,
Philip.
right? And they came up to like up here, like, oh, we're gonna come up to like Daytona, or not Daytona. I mean, up to Panama City, and then Panama City gets hit with a Cat 5. You know, it was like it happens. It's like in Florida, it's a roll of the dice whether you're gonna get hit. My area has not gotten anything from either of these hurricanes this year. We've been lucky. A couple years ago, I had a Cat 2 directly impact, like literally the eye wall is over my house. And we have a bridge that connects my area to Pensacola proper. We call it 3 Mile Bridge. It was knocked out for 8 months. You know, so I mean, it's rolled the dice here. Not 2 weeks, but we've been tracking. Yeah, they've been tracking it for at least a good week now. We tracked depressions.
Right,
this one popped up in the middle of the Gulf, so they weren't tracking this one as long, but about a week.
Philip's trying to make you an honorary Packer fan, Ken. And
No,
Josh is like, nope.
no,
Nope.
no.
Sorry, Philip.
No.
I agree with Josh
baby.
on this one.
FTP,
So I wonder where
baby.
Tampa's going to play this week.
They're on the road.
Tampa's off.
No,
Or yeah,
they're not
Tampa's
off.
on the
They're
road. Who's off? Miami's off. Dolphins
Miami's
are off.
off.
The Dolphins
The
are
Jaguars. So for the Florida teams, the Jaguars are in London, where they're going to lose to Chicago. Had to throw it in there. And the Bucks are at NOLA. The Bucks are
off.
at
Got
NOLA.
jokes.
Yep, that joke. The Bucks are at NOLA. You know what? While I'm thinking about it, I'm just trying to make sure. Let me see.
I love you guys, man.
They're,
I love our fucking watch. I love our viewers, man. They guys, you guys are awesome.
Dude,
Oh,
so
how's this for ironic? The Tampa Bay Lightning are off until Friday. They open the season against the Carolina Hurricanes.
That's funny. One hurricane leaves just for another one to come in.
Tampa plays
So I read also yesterday that the AP said that going forward, well, at least this week, Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew are going to compete for starting quarterback.
I'm not surprised with that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with it, but I don't know. I think at this point you should just let Minshew do his Minshew thing. Like, the hope for this season is lost, man.
Only Bear fans.
Well,
say that, man.
then why not throw AOC out there and let him grow as a quarterback?
Because I think he'll win more games. Like, I think he's good enough.
You want to tank? You want to tank?
I think he's good enough to. At this point, I think it's kind of the right thing to do for the team. Like, I don't want to sit through 14 more games of losses, but at the same time, like, if it gets us the quarterback that we need, and I mean, this season Wilkins is out for the season, Epps is gone for the season. Like, we've lost 4 or 5 starters, like 5 starters on our defense, another 4 or 5 starters on our offense. Like, at this point, like,
Yeah, JB, you already missed it. I know you're here about a half hour late on that joke, but yeah, we already put up his picture. He's at a VWO meeting this morning. Yeah, I don't know, Joe. I mean, I don't mind them competing. I mean, maybe that's good for AOC too. Look, it's not like you're out of the playoff picture.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right?
saying. Like, well, we're 2-3, but we will be shortly. Like, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be out of the playoff
You could be,
picture.
but what if AOC starts and rattles off 4 or 5 wins? Next thing you know, you're in it.
No,
yeah,
Jeremy,
but
he's just.
see, the thing is if we're in it, that's bad, because then, like, let's say we're in it, we don't make it, we go 7 and 10,
Draft
right?
pick. I get it. Now you're picking 15 instead of top 10. I get it.
Yeah, I'd rather pick top 5 and get a quarterback. Like, this season, I mean, it's kind of like the writing is on the wall. The NFL gods have kind of said, no, sorry, you guys, You guys are gonna suck this
Oh,
year. So
Happy birthday, JB. I forgot. It's your birthday today. Happy
Oh
birthday,
yeah,
bro.
it's his birthday. He's an old man today.
55.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean
right
the Raiders
there.
did
I'll
beat
be 55 in a
Baltimore,
couple 54 actually, a couple days.
yeah,
but
but
then
they
they
beat
also lost
Baltimore
to
and then
Carolina.
lost to Carolina, lost to Denver. Like, I don't honestly see them, especially like I think if our team was full strength, we would be competitive even with Minshew. But like with as depleted with injuries as we are, and with the Devontae drama and everything, I think it'd be better if they just pack it in and rest Max. Don't let Max get hurt.
54.
Just play our scrubs.
Wow. So look at Joe's ready to pack it in for the Raiders. Wow. Never heard a fan base say pack it in after week 5.
Look, that's one thing Packer fans were calling for that one year. Like, let's just tank for the picks. Let's just tank. How the fuck can you just throw a team? I couldn't even watch if I thought my team was throwing it in. I couldn't even watch, bro. There's no fucking way. I'm not a quitter like that. You're going to fucking have to kill me.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, and it's not something that I'm like happy.
I know your pain, though. I feel what you're saying, though. I understand why you feel that way. I would definitely understand it. But
that's the thing. It's like I'm not quitting on my team. Like, I just know realistically they're not going to be competitive with all of the injuries that we have. Like,
you have to embrace the suck at that point. You have to embrace it. You have to fully embrace it.
Just embrace the fact that we're going to suck this year, and then hopefully get our quarterback, and
we all been there.
Maybe we won't suck.
Speaking of embracing the suck, so the Buccaneers, like I said, they're at NOLA this week.
Speaking of embracing the suck, let's talk Buccaneers.
Well, yeah, because the Buccaneers are at home. The NFL next week's a dual Monday nighter again. One of the Monday night games is the Chargers at the Cardinals. That should be a good game. The Ravens at the Bucs.
Do you see Jerry's comment?
The Ravens, okay, yeah. The Ravens at the Bucs next Monday night. So a week from Monday, there will be NFL football in Tampa. Anyone want to bet on whether that game happens or not in Tampa?
No,
It'll happen.
Really?
It'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen. They'll have the game in Tampa. They won't miss it. I'd almost guarantee that.
No, dude, I'm not going to support another team.
Even when Miami had even some really bad ones in Miami, they very rarely miss a game unless it's on game weekend. That the game will happen at Raymond James a week from Monday. Guarantee it. I almost guarantee it. But I mean, back to the pity fest that is this Raiders morning. I don't know, man. I mean, I get it. Get a top 10 pick, whatever. But are you gonna get? What are you gonna try to draft a quarterback? Is that what you're saying? It's like tank so we can get a quarterback?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying Wilkins is gone for the season, so there goes. It's just math at this point. We already lost Kuntz for the season. Now Wilkins, like Diablo's hurt. Epps, our starting safety, he tore his ACL. So we have a bunch of guys out for the year. Our offense can't seem to get it going. Minshew's garbage. Like, at this point, I would keep AOC as a backup, and then I would just let Minshew tank this thing into the ground, lose as many games as we can, get our quarterback, get rid of Minshew next year, and keep AOC as our backup, and then start over. Not start over like rebuild, but just start fresh next year.
What do you do with Devontae? Are you gonna get rid of him? Is he gonna?
Yeah, they're gonna trade. He'll be traded by the deadline. I thought it would be done already, to be honest.
I know. I thought so too. I would think. Why are they holding out? Why is he holding out?
It's what I said yesterday. It's the asking price. It's what we talked about yesterday. They want a second-round pick, and they don't want to pay the contract. It seems like we're not going to give you a second-round pick and pay $17 million for a rental. A lot of guys
nobody wants his old ass, Tyler.
That's not. It's just they look at him as being a rental because of their cap, where they're at cap-wise. So certain teams would be interested because they're contending. Because if you're like Carolina, are you going to trade for Devontae where you have no chance in hell at making the playoffs? No, you're not going to do that. because he's probably a rental. So the asking price is too high. So unless the Raiders are willing to eat some of his contract or get a lesser compensation, draft pick wise, they're not going to be able to trade him.
Actually, the Raiders have. I believe they will end up eating some of his contract, but only to get the pick that they want. Like, they're not going to eat the contract and get a lower pick. So
No, it's like you're not going to eat the contract and be one of the last 4 picks in the second round. Like, your second round pick being like number 68.
Kind of so.
It'd be like 63 or something like that. It's like that's basically a third rounder at that point. So they want to get a good second round pick.
I think they're going to go for more than that.
They're not even asking for a first round pick for Adam. Josh, they can't get a first round pick for Adam. At best,
I think they
you're
could
getting a
if they
second-round
were.
pick.
I think they could if they ate his contract for the year. Like, depending
they
on the
ate the
team, if the team
contract?
gets desperate enough. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
so that's something that's been proposed in the Raiders subreddit is that, like, we're going to have to probably eat some of the contract. But if we have the cap space that we could go ahead and pay his contract out for this year. If we were to pay his contract out, a team is basically getting him financially for free. And the Jets just fired their head coach. They're going to be desperate. Like, there's a couple of teams that,
I mean, look,
a first is not out of the realm of possibility, is all I'm saying. Like, it's not likely. It's not likely.
It would have to be like a team like I'm not gonna say they would do Kansas City, but a team like Kansas City's draft pick is going to be at the very back end of the first round. It's just like giving up a high end second round, right? So if you're a team that's going to pick 27, 28, 30, like they might give up the first rounder because it's so late in the first round. You're not going to get any team that thinks they're going to pick 15 or below to give up a first rounder for Devontae, even if you eat the contract, because they're the teams are going to want him. Our teams are like, well, he's the piece I need to win the Super Bowl. But like, look at the Vikings. The Vikings are still a possibility. The Vikings could give up a first rounder because that's going to be a late first round pick. If you go to Quezzy and say, look, we're going to eat $15 million of the contract, and you're going to pay $2 million, get Devontae, and give us a first rounder, they might go for it. A team that's never won a Super Bowl, that's 5-0, they might go for it.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't think Kansas City is going to look. Did you see how Jimmy Schuster went off on fucking Monday? That guy had like a fucking great game. I don't think they're going to miss a beat. I don't think they're going to take a wide receiver. I don't think they'll feel it.
KC's interested. They've been poking around.
I understand. I get it. They feel like they're one wide receiver away. I know they do.
But I mean, if you take a team like like the Vikings to support what Joe's saying, though,
smoking
Quezzy doesn't necessarily have the money, right, to pay for Devontae's contract. But if the Raiders say, look, we're going to eat 12, 13 million of it, right, Quezzy might give up that late first round pick for Devontae.
Honestly, I would rather reproach them about McCarthy. Like, Darnold is playing really good football.
They're not going to do that.
I would try. I would try.
No, they're not. No. You could try it. Every GM's going to laugh you out the building. At best, they're going to give you a draft pick. That's how these things usually go. Unless the only time you see a player for player during the season, if both teams have a problem child they want to get rid of. Right? Devontae's my problem child. I need him gone. Yeah, I got this problem child over here. How about this? Let's just swap them out. Okay. That's the only way that usually happens, though, if you think about it. Otherwise, at this point, once the season starts, the only time you see when you see a player get traded, it's always for draft capital.
But you know what? Things have never happened before until they happen. Like there's a first time for everything.
But I mean, when was the last time you saw two players get swapped out in the season?
I don't know.
I mean,
it doesn't happen that often. But see, we're in a kind of a unique situation where, like, the Raiders have their biggest need is quarterback, and the Vikings just happen to have a quarterback that they just drafted sitting on the bench because Darnold is playing better than expected. So I feel
Darnold's not the long-term answer for them. They can take the Jordan Love approach. They
But
can let look at.
why
Would
would
you
He's
take
out
Darnold?
this year.
Would you take Darnold, Joe? Would you take
why
Darnold?
would you move? Why would you move away from Darnold when he's winning? He's winning you games.
Because
Like,
who knows if Darnold's going to be the long-term answer? So he's
But would
having
you
a
take
good
Darnold,
year.
Joe? Would you take Darnold instead? I mean, come
maybe,
on, bro.
maybe.
There's your answer. I mean,
Look,
would
here's
you
the thing
take
with
Darnold
McCarthy.
as well as
I
he's playing?
think Darnold's better than Minshew, so I would consider
Okay.
it.
Okay.
The only reason
and
I'm
I can't
pushing
argue
for
with you there.
McCarthy is because the only reason I'm pushing for McCarthy is because we don't know what he is yet.
Well, I think that's also why they keep him.
Ooh, look
Yeah.
at that. Tyler might be right about that. When Jones went down in that game, it's
So here's the problem.
significantly
Here's
changed.
another reason why they don't do it. Sam Darnold's on a 1-year contract.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's why. Because that's what I'm saying, Joe. You might have a better chance probably getting Darnold. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but then it's just a rental.
Well, is it? I mean, maybe.
I mean-
is there? Where's the? I mean, where are you looking for a quarterback? I mean, can he get you by for another 5 years?
No,
You don't think so?
I mean,
Well, I don't know. He's only got 5 games in this year that it's shown that he's actually he's 5
that's
games.
what I'm
Man.
saying. I don't want to invest in him
And
for
he
5
is
years.
freaking cheap this year.
Yeah, he's super cheap, bro. He's
His
like
base
dirt cheap.
salary is $2.5 million. His signing bonus is 1.2. And trust me, he's gonna. Well, it was a $10 million deal.
I mean, your only problem with Devontae is he doesn't have a quarterback. If you guys got him a quarterback, he'd shut up and play.
You're not
I
getting.
think-
You're
I
not
think-
getting a quarterback.
I don't agree with it, Joe. I'm not saying what he's doing is correct,
Dude,
but I'm just
the
saying.
Yeah,
Vikings
but I think it's too late.
The Vikings.
I think
The Vikings are not giving you a quarterback at all. Period.
it's gone too far. It's gone
Yeah.
too far with Devontae, I think.
I mean,
Although
if
if the Raiders don't get what they want for him, they won't trade him, and they'll literally he can go and sit or he can play. Like, and I think Devontae is the type that, like, he might want to pout, but he knows that that's going to tank his value. So he's going to, if they don't trade him, he's going to play the rest of the season, try to put up numbers.
The asking price for Devontae is a second round, right?
Bro, would you
And they
swap?
can't
Would you
get-
swap
and they-
Debo? Would you swap Debo for
it's a second
Devontae?
and it's a second and additional compensation. So that's what they're asking.
No, it's a second. Everyone's reporting it's a second.
Well, it's a second and additional compensation. Like, they want another pick in addition to the second. Is
Yeah, they're not
what?
gonna do
That's what I've seen.
It's a completely different thing, Matt. Come on, Matt. Darnold had already been playing. He's been on several teams and come back as a shit ass quarterback. Now,
I mean, Darnold's having. No, I mean, look at. I mean, but Darnold.
It's not the
Darnold.
same.
Crosby does not want out
Darnold.
too.
You know what? Darnold's in a love situation, to be honest with you, because Love
He's
last
not.
year. Look at. Yeah, he is, Rob. and Here's
It's
why.
not the same. It's not.
Oh my God! Actually, you know what? You're right, Rob. It's actually better for
not.
Darnold because he has years of NFL experience playing games, and now he's 5-0, and he's going to get a payday because he's going to have a great. If he continues this year,
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not going to get a payday. I'm just saying it's not the same
so
situation.
before you tell me it's not, let me tell you how it was before you say no. It's similar in the fact that Love got
It's
a huge
opinion-based.
paycheck. Oh God, Rob. Well, then why do we even do the show? We'll just all leave for the day because the Packers are right about everything, right, Joe?
Your opinion, my opinion, but in this
Rob,
show,
let
you
other
think yours
people
is the
talk
only one
their
that matters.
opinion Then, Rob, then let us speak our opinion before you say no, because you didn't even hear the opinion. You just
You're trying to tell me my
opinion's
opinion's crap, Ken. Then stay
I'm
off
not
my
telling you
opinion.
your opinion's crap.
Just say
I didn't
yours.
even give the
Just say
opinion
yours.
yet.
Just
Here's the
say
thing.
it.
I didn't even
Speak
get to
it.
give the opinion yet.
Speak
Here's
it.
where it's the same.
Speak it.
It's Love played 1 year of ball, right, where he started games, right? He had a great year. The Packers had to pay him. They had no choice. Goody had no choice. Going rate for a quarterback was X, so we had to pay him X. Darnold's a similar situation. He's having a great year of ball, and someone is going to have to pay him a lot of money next year to retain him as a quarterback. If let's say he gets Minnesota deep into the playoffs, let's say he gets them to the second round of the playoffs, like Love got the Packers last year. He's going to get a Love-like contract. It's
I'm
the
sure
same
he will.
situation.
I'm sure
Well,
he
see,
will.
before you tell me no, then Rob, that's what I was trying to say. It's the same situation as Love. All these quarterbacks that right in a contract year right now who have a good year, they're all going to get paid. Why? Because it's not because of and it's not. See, Rob's here shaking his head like it was a knock on Love. This has absolutely nothing to do with Jordan Love. Like he thinks it does, but it really doesn't.
I don't
Any
think,
quarterback
and
that
that's where you're
has a good
fucking wrong, you
year,
dumbass. That's not what I'm thinking. So don't even see you're telling me my opinion.
well, you're sitting there
I'm sorry, that
laughing
ain't
at
the
the
case, bro. That's the
opinion
problem with you.
before
You
it
tell
even gets off.
everybody
Just
your
because
opinion
if we
and try to
mentioned
say,
never
please,
noticed
bro.
if we mentioned the name Jordan Love, how crazy Rob gets.
Yeah,
It's,
that's what happens.
it's hilarious. It's the
It
Packers,
only, hey Ken, you know what? The only problem is it only happens
No.
with you. It's the way you fucking put it
Rob,
out there, bro. It only happens with you. When I have a football conversation about Jordan Love with you, that's when this comes out.
Dude, the only thing
Hey,
I'm trying to say
Joshua, I
is
would take that deal in
Straight
a
up you,
second,
bro.
dude. If the Falcon, because I already said I would like to get Penix. I would trade Penix for Adams, and I would give them a 3rd round pick, and I would pay half the contract for Penix. I would do that right now.
I mean, it's hilarious though because all I'm trying to say is that Sam Darnold plays the way he's going to play. I know Packer fans lose their shit. I am literally saying that if Darnold keeps
only
winning
with
games,
you though, Ken. It's only you, buddy. I promise.
Rob, can I finish the word before you be stupid? I mean, all I'm saying is if Darnold keeps winning games, he's going to get a love-like contract because that's what's going to happen in the NFL these days. He's going to get paid. And Packer fans are losing their shit over that take. Like, oh, it's nothing like Love. It's exactly like Love. He had a good year last year. He needed a contract. The Packers had no choice but to pay him. That's all I said. And they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're so stupid. That's exactly what happened. And the same things that happened to Darnold was on a $10 million contract. He's going to get paid if he takes if God forbid he wins a Super Bowl with the Vikings.
Oh, God.
They're going to, the Vikings fans are going to want to resign him at that point. Oh, my God, our savior. You finally won us a Super Bowl. He's going to make $50, $60 million. Sam Darnold is.
Mm-hmm.
If they keep playing this way, he's going to get paid.
Yeah, hey, Jeremy brings up a good question. So yesterday I read that LaFleur is going to have a meeting with Dobbs. What do you think is going to happen there?
He had the meeting on Monday.
So what do you think is going to happen there?
Everything's fine. He said he was happy with how the conversation went. Dobbs just got, he wants to be the number one, and he didn't like it when they put Wicks in there. Honestly, bro, and it was stupid for him to act like that. He acted like a child. He didn't come. He took the day off of work and didn't call in. They sent the coach to his house, and he's acting like a diva.
Another day in Divaville.
Green Bay makes divas, bro. They do. I don't understand it. I don't know how they do it.
Hey, Divaville. Every year,
dude.
It's
don't get it, bro.
Every
don't
year.
Get it at all.
Every year, man. Last year it was Jefferson's son, Jair, right? This year it's Dobbs. Yeah. And here's the thing, with Dobbs, dude, come on, man. You're receiver by committee up there. Everyone knows it. And you're being childish about the depth chart. Come on, man. Really?
Matt, I would not be happy to get Bryce Young. Bryce Young, I don't think has it. I would trade for Penix though, and I've been putting that out there on the Raiders subreddit, and everybody agrees that we would. Everybody agrees that we would make the trade, but nobody agrees that the Falcons are going to do that trade. That's what I just said.
Atlanta won't make that.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Atlanta's not going to make that trade, but if they were willing to make that trade, I would have no problem giving them Devontae and giving them our first this year. If it came down to it, I would try to haggle, but we're going to spend our first on a quarterback this year anyway, so we might I wanted Penix. I think Penix is. I'm enamored with his arm talent. So I would give them Devontae and the first.
The only quarterback I would say that the Raiders would have a shot at trading for at this point, though, if you look at rosters, is probably Bryce Young. And even though they've benched him and he's asking for a trade, I don't think Carolina wants to trade him either. But he's probably he's probably the only quarterback that a team that would be movable at this point in time, and that's because he's demanding the trade. But once again, I don't think Carolina wants to trade him unless they get a massive haul. Like they would probably want you to way overpay, which I don't think the Raiders would.
Nobody's saying that Atlanta. We're saying Atlanta didn't say they won't make that trade. We're just assuming that Atlanta won't make that trade.
Yeah,
Joshua.
Because look at they put it. If you look at the Cousins contract, it's a 4-year deal, but after 2 years they can jettison the contract and then bring Penix in. I mean, don't look at a team like Atlanta or a team like Minnesota with these rookie quarterbacks who aren't playing right now or won't play at all this season, like JJ, and think they're tradable. I mean, look at what the Packers did. Don't get mad, Rob. I'm going to talk about the Packers. Look what the Packers did with Jordan Love. They took him in the first round, and he sat on the bench for 3 years, right? And look what happened. Now they've got their quarterback. They put him in a funky pickle come contract time last year because they had to make they had to pay him, and Goody had to make a bet, right? Take a bet on whether he's going to pan out after only one season because they probably wanted to get, honestly, they would have been more comfortable with him getting 2 seasons on the field before they had to pay him. But still, I mean, these teams are doing what the Packers did, right? So, I mean, the Packers did it right. Rob got off all mad, but I'm actually giving his team props here. I mean, the Packers did it right. So you don't think Atlanta didn't see that? You know, so they'll let Penix sit for 2 seasons. I think and Atlanta's got to actually, you know, they'll probably think they'll always exercise the 5th-year option. I think that's where Green Bay made the mistake is not doing the 5th-year option with the extension. But they've got 2 years they can let Penix sit. JJ can sit for 2 or 3 years if they want. So they're not going to trade these young guys because look what Green Bay did with Love. It worked. And you know what's funny? It's funny that people go, oh, my God, look what Green Bay did. It worked. Oh, my God, it's such a shocker. No, it's not. That's the way it's been. It was in the NFL for decades. And then all of a sudden it became, if you draft them in the first round, they have to start right away and be awesome. No, Green Bay did it right. It just didn't
Josh,
work out the way Green Bay wanted it to.
Don't give me hope, Josh.
The only thing where it didn't work out the way Green Bay wanted it to is I think Green Bay's vision was Love will sit for 2 years behind Rodgers, play for 2 years, and then we'll make a decision. It didn't work out that way. Rodgers stuck around a little bit longer, but that it worked out for him. I think the Vikings are in the position to do that right now with JJ. If they re-sign Darnold, if they play well and want to, and they re-sign Darnold, and Penix is going to do that down there in Atlanta. They can have him ride the bench for the next 2 years, and then if Kirk needs to go, Penix will be ready. So Green Bay did it right. It wasn't perfect, but it was right.
Yeah, actually, I wanted Penix. Once I found out we couldn't get Jaden Daniels, I wanted Penix.
I mean,
yeah, no, I agree with you, Josh. I think that deal makes sense on paper, but I just don't think Atlanta is going to give up Penix. Like, they drafted him to be their future, and but here's hoping that Kirk Cousins has enough of an ego that he's like, no, you need to get this dude out of here. Like, I know he doesn't.
No,
Kirk, that's the thing is, like, Kirk is,
Ned
Kirk
Flanders
is
doesn't act like that. Ned Flanders doesn't have that killer instinct like that.
Yeah, he's too good of a guy to do that.
Yeah,
but you know what though? He gets it. As long as Kirk keeps getting on the field, which he always seems to do, he's safe. I mean, but Penix doesn't have to. And if you're Atlanta, you can keep Penix on the bench for 3 seasons if you really want to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that come into year 4, you might want to start playing Penix some to see if you're going to do a 5th-year option. If you're going to keep him past that. But I mean, that's the only flaw in the Packers' plan was Rodgers stayed too long. That was the only flaw in their plan, and they still came out, and did fine with it. And then you look at Minnesota, Darnold's doing great Darnold things right now. JJ is out on injury. When you think about it, they could sign Darnold to a Jordan Love-like contract, right? Because the Packers can get out of that contract in 2 years, right? After 2 years, Goody can kind of kick that contract to the curb if he has to, right, Rob? That was the deal. The Love contract. after 2 years, they're like, oh, nope, Love's not it. They can kind of kick out of it, right?
Yeah.
So
That's how it's.
if you're the Vikings, you can give Darnold the same kind of deal because you're gonna have to pay him, and you still have JJ McCarthy on a rookie contract. So that's why these rookies are gonna go. When Joe talks about getting these rookies to Vegas, that's why it's never gonna happen. Because of what the Packers do with Jordan Love. That's exactly why it's not gonna happen.
They just need to draft a quarterback and bring him up. But they don't have anybody to groom him. Who's going to groom him? Minshew? He can't even. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You know what, though? You know what you do, though, I think? Like, and Chicago had the idea to do it, and they ended up not needing it, I think, is you don't necessarily need a Minshew. You get a guy like Rippon, who's been in the league 6-7 years, and has, not that Rippon has, like, a ton of success, but he's been around the league, and he understands the work ethic and everything. You just need a guy, a backup there, who has been in the league a couple of years. So AOC could be that guy. He'll 2 years of experience by that point. You could, get another older vet that, is going to win you 3 or 4 games in a pinch, but you don't want as a starter that can do that. You could do that. Or you could get like an old vet receiver, like a Keenan Allen type, because Keenan Allen does a lot of mentoring with the young quarterbacks in Chicago too. So, I mean, because someone was asking, what's Keenan Allen worth to the Bears? Well, a lot of it was off the field, right? Not just on the field, it's the off the field. So, I mean, they could do that. They don't have to have like an old quarterback. They don't have to have Minshew in that locker room. And AOC is still cheap.
I think it makes a difference who you sit behind. I mean, that helps. I mean, you want a decent quarterback, but I mean, not everybody's got a good quarterback though. That's the problem.
I mean, like Penix, Penix should be pretty good.
Yeah.
When he actually gets to play, sitting behind Cousins for a couple years.
Yeah, because Cousins is a decent quarterback, and he'll learn a lot from watching him play. Shit.
But I mean, whoever the Raiders get's not going to be sitting. They're going to be playing from day one, most likely, if they draft a first-round quarterback. So they're not going to get that sit. McCarthy, I don't know how, McCarthy, let's say he sits behind Darnold for the next 2 years. That could bode well for McCarthy. I think any of these rookies sit for a couple years is good for him. I mean, look at it did for Jordan Love. I don't think Jordan Love has his career if he
look
comes
what
out
it did for
Rodgers.
Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers sat 3 years behind Favre. I mean, it works, bro. It legit works.
Like, is Jordan Love the quarterback he is now if he didn't sit behind Rodgers for a couple years?
Oh, no.
Probably not. So
I mean, he still has growing pains. He still looks like he has growing pains out there. I mean, that interception he threw this weekend, I mean, he was like falling down, trying to do something brave, and just, I mean, that was horrible.
Yeah, Rob, I wasn't trying to say anything bad about your boy. I was just trying to make a comparison on how the league is playing. That's all. Just so you know. I know it's always a contentious subject, but
it's not.
No,
Man, I feel like a lot of times you like discount someone's opinion. It's just my opinion, bro.
No,
I'm not saying anything for facts. If I was, I would say for fact. I would say.
I mean, it's just the situation's very similar in the case that the playing time with that team is 1 year. And the going rate of a quarterback is going to dictate.
Anybody showing up will garner a more
a huge paycheck.
Yeah. So I mean, and I get,
but and the market's the market, and the same thing with Love. The only difference between Love and Darnold is Love is like, okay, you're going to be the franchise. Darnold isn't going to be the franchise,
right,
Philip? But he's going to get a massive contract anyway. But on that terrible take, JB's birthday show is next. So
happy birthday,
JB. If you're in Florida, stay safe. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you're not in an affected area. If you are in an affected area, get the hell out. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone.
Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic,